Does anybody ever find themselves challenged with negative thoughts?
All the time.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so just like maybe we just don't have the best thoughts bumping around in our head, right? I think they've done studies on this kind of thing, and they say like it's like 70-80% of the thoughts that most people have are negative, right? We're thinking about things we're afraid of, things we're worrying about, things that we don't want to happen, right? A lot of the time we live in an imagined future, right? We don't live in reality. We live in two imagined sectors, right? A lot of the time we live in the past, thinking about things that have happened, and we live in the future, thinking about things that could potentially happen, right? I think gratitude is a great way to keep us grounded on the present, right? Because all you ever have is the present. Does that make sense? The past isn't real. You cannot go back. It doesn't actually exist anymore. The future also isn't real. It doesn't actually exist yet, right? What you always have is the present, and most of us spend our time not where we actually are. We spend our time on one side or the other of where we actually are. Does that make sense? In the future or in the past, okay? So gratitude is something that can ground us. And to be honest, I think gratitude will help us see things objectively. So do you guys know what it means to see things objectively versus subjectively?
See things without bias.
Right? So it's to see things without, I heard somebody say without emotion. Somebody say that? Yeah, okay. It is, yeah, it's to see things without emotion. It's to see things without your bias of your personal experiences, right? Really, it is to see things as they truly are, right? Not through the lens of the past or the future or whatever imagined reality that we're living in and we're looking at things through, right? So I believe that all of us who had the opportunity to wake up in a warm bed, to maybe have some food this morning, to get a shower, to be able to put on some clean clothes, to get into a car that had gas in it, to be able to drive to this office, right? Like just before your day even starts here, like we have a lot of things to be grateful for, right? But how often do you go through and take stock of the things that you're actually grateful for? Does that make sense? Right? So what do we have to, excuse me. So what do we have to battle? The negative thoughts, all right? So we have to battle negativity. Negativity is battled with perspective. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, while some of you might have moments where we freeze and we get a little nervous about approaching somebody, right? You all chose to be here. Rich, every single one of you chose to be here. Not just in the past, not just this morning. You keep making the choice to come back here, right? You don't have to put yourself into this position. You don't have to go put yourself into a position where people tell you no. I mean, shit, you could probably get a job at McDonald's for the same hourly that I offer and never have anybody tell you no, except when you're asking if they want fries with that. Right? That's the only no you'll ever have to hear. Want fries with that? No, we're good. All right. Right? So, if you guys chose to be here, shouldn't we choose to have the right perspective about what we're engaging in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think so, right? So the exercise, right, and something that I'd like you guys to all do if you're going into the field today, okay? You write out on a piece of paper what I am grateful for. Okay? And for this exercise, you're gonna write out 1, 2, and 3. Okay? And you just fill this in with things that you actually are glad that you have in your life. All right? Now what's gonna happen is this is gonna create a little bit of a snowball effect. Okay? So see how far you can actually go with this. See how many things